My father was just old enough that he wasn't drafted. I grew up in this business, spending a good deal of time in a car pulling a trailer of Greyhounds across the country from track to track. And I remember how worried my parents always were about gas rations and food for the dogs during the war.
As racing prospered as a spectator sport, the size of individual kennels grew too. Many families now raced 2 or 3 kennels of Greyhound. Almost all the racing was seasonal, and the dogmen, as they called themselves, were contracted or booked for different portions of the year at different cities.
Oh, at 7 weeks old, I was in a basket in the back seat of a car headed for the dog races. They tell me my first stop was Portland, Oregon, and then San Francisco, and third stop was Los Angeles, fourth stop was Kansas, and so on. We spent a lot of time on the road, all the Greyhound owners did. You know, it made for a tremendous sense of community. I mean, you'd leave a track in Miami and drive all the way across the country to Portland, Oregon and see so many of the same faces. We pulled a trailer behind our Buick with maybe 15 or 20 Greyhounds in it. And when I was little, my dad let me help him build the trailer. It was a long, low aluminum trailer with compartments, and he had Paul Sutherland Racing Greyhounds written across the back in red letters that looked like they were flying. He let me help tear up newspaper for the betting. And any of the time that I got to spend with my dad or around the dogs was a real treat for me. I was an only child, so the dogs were my family. It's funny, if you could name all the names of all the Greyhounds that I ever knew, I would see each particular one in my mind, each one. Smilin' Jessie, Vivid Girl, Andy Begone, Pistol Packin' Mama. It's years later, and there were hundreds of Greyhounds, but I knew them all.
The 40s and 50s, and even the 60s, saw a time of growth and popularity for this business. More and more states legalized racing, and today, it's one of the largest spectator sports in America. There are nearly 50 tracks across the United States, and they make an enormous economic impact on their communities. The Greyhound industry employs thousands of people and generates hundreds of millions of dollars of tax revenues. Greyhound racing is big business today, but one thing remains the same: the partnership between Greyhounds and the people who care for them, who nurture their competitive spirit. Kevin and Gina Dalton are a third-generation racing family.
The farm that we're at now is where I grew up. We moved there when I was 5. Dad just kind of wanted a place where he could say thank you to some of the good dogs that he's raised. He had a monument built of a Greyhound statue, and it has a list of dogs on there, some of the great dogs that he had raised: Miss Gorgeous, Rooster Cogburn, Highway Robber. They're the dogs that built the farm, built the house, raised us kids, and kept the family going.
Come on, girls, let's go. Come on. Come on. Leah, come on.
You ready, girl?
They're just great. I love to watch them run. I love to watch them being born. They're really awesome animals. They're gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful dogs. That's their security. They would rather be in that crate than just out in a big space, a big wide area. They look wonderul when they're running. It's fun to, sometimes we have to sprint them to keep them in shape out in the field, and they have a blast out there running up and down the runs.
It takes daily dedication. The days begin early and end late at night, 365 days a year.
Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
From 1918 to now, is 3 generations long in a colorful business. Greyhound racing is rich with its own history and personal stories of the men and women, the families who have chosen to live an exciting, sporting life in concert with these beautiful animals. The race, it's over in 31 seconds. But the love affair between a greyhound and its family will last a lifetime.